right, everybody. It's that time again. It's time for the third installment, right, of this year's Metallica Vinyl Club. Got it in the mail today. And this year has been, they've come out a little faster. I'm still a little bit concerned that, we're going to leak over into next year, but who the fuck cares? As long as we get all 4 records, who cares? This one is number 3. And so far, I've really liked what they've done this year. First one was the pandemic version of Blackened. And then the second one was some Saint Anger stuff, which made me very happy. So I'm very curious to see what the third issue of this year's Metallica Vinyl Club will bring us. So without further ado, first off, the one thing that I wanted to point out that I think is fucking great. So there used to be like the return address on their stuff that they would send had some sort of, generic name like, Dave Rock and Roll or Dave Rockhead or something like that. But I just love how now the return address name is Harvey F. Sorrow. I love it, guys. It was not wasted on me. So anyway, let's open this up. All right. Ooh. I see acoustic guitars in there. What could this be? I see a lot of acoustic guitars. All right, there it is. What does it say? Live at Bridge School Benefit 1997. So would this have been the very first Bridge School Benefit that they did? It might be. So that means it's an acoustic thing, acoustic performance. So that's that. I mean, I'm really liking the acoustic reimaginings that they are doing of some of their songs. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's on this. Let's open it up first because there's a fucking glare and you can't see anything. All right. There's a better look at the cover. That looks a little bit better, right? Awesome. All right. So on this side A, Low Man's Lyric and Poor Twisted Me. Ooh, that's load and reload era stuff acoustically. Side B is Fade to Black and the Four Horsemen. Also both acoustic. Interesting. So obviously this has got Mr. Jason Newsted on bass, and that's pretty fucking cool. Let's look and see what's on the inside of this. All right, so this is the first one. It has a download card. I'll get to that later. This is the first one that doesn't have like stickers or some sort of other goodies inside of it. Did anybody else get some goodies in theirs? Because they've been doing that, but this one doesn't have that. Okay, let's take a look at this. Here's the printed inner sleeve. It looks like that is the schedule for the Bridge School Benefit. Man, you had Blues Traveler, Lou Reed, Smashing Pumpkins, Neil Young, Alanis Morissette, Dave Matthews Band, and Metallica wrapping it all up. And then there's some cool pictures. You can get a good look at some of them. Pause it if you want to see them. And then on the other side, there's a picture of the dudes playing. And then, as usual, there's something written by Lars, which I will now read. This was new. This was different. This had up till then seemed very out of reach, but as the acoustic stars aligned, we were encouraged to do this at the right time and certainly in the right frame of mind. As the 90s progressed and we continued to feel more and more comfortable broadening our horizons, experimenting and embracing new opportunities, playing an all-acoustic set gave us a chance to reinterpret a bunch of our heavier songs and proudly represent our generation of metal misfits to the established Bridge School gig crowd. So we gladly accepted the offer Neil Young's camp threw our way. In actual fact, the whole endeavor, which was guided along by Bob Rock, felt unexpectedly natural and effortlessly exciting and exhilarating. Coming off stage, I remember actually being surprised by the number of compliments we got from people who straight up told me that they hadn't expected us to pull this type of transformation off. So thank you to Neil and Peggy Young, or Peggy, one of those two, and Marcia Vlasic for having faith in our ability to do this and for helping us add another outlet to the way we share our music. Lars. Very well said, Lars. Let's look at the record. As usual, they're not doing any fancy colors for these. They're all just black, but 12-inch vinyl this time. But that's, you got the Ninja Star thing, which they were using around the load and reload era. And yeah. Okay, so so far my only thing is like, where's the goodie? Because I think every other one had one, if I'm remembering right. But whatever, that's not going to really get me that down. I'm going to go listen to this, and I'll be right back, and I'll let you know what I thought of it. Okay, so I just finished listening to it, and here are my thoughts. So, and before I get into this, let me remind you that I'm a huge Metallica fan. I even really like Saint Anger. I enjoy Load and Reload. Lulu, I also really enjoy Lulu. So to give you the idea of the kind of fan that I am. That being said, this is the first one of their Vinyl Club releases that I wasn't 100% stoked with. And I'll explain. So this right here, it's acoustic versions of songs. And it starts off with Low Man's Lyric, which I don't think that there are any bad Metallica songs in my opinion, but one of my least favorite Metallica songs is Low Man's Lyric. And they don't really do anything different with it here because it's already acoustic and it's kind of fit for this occasion. And then they play Poor Twisted Me, which once again is kind of already tailor-made for something like this. But I have to admit that them doing that song on acoustic guitars, it was a little bit awkward sounding. In fact, most of the songs, all of the songs on this, sound a bit awkward, like they weren't quite yet that comfortable with playing all of their stuff on acoustic guitars. And I think that might lead to why later on down the line they do more of an acoustic reimagining for some of their songs, which I prefer, because just flat out playing, Fade to Black, sure, the verses are okay, but you get to the choruses and it just doesn't, it feels kind of weird. But while it still was a little bit awkward, the way that they did the Four Horsemen at the end, where they did it with kind of a Western swing, they didn't do the entire song. They did a big chunk of it, but I liked what they did with it, even if it felt very loose. And honestly, I feel like their attitude when they did this, it was kind of a loose, just sort of fun affair. They weren't, trying to. I don't think they were thinking, oh, this one day is going to be put out for our vinyl club. So, but that being said, even though like I like it less than the other two they've done so far this year, I still really like the fact that Metallica have always been a band that will release something like this for fans to hear. And there's mistakes all through it. And it's a little, like I said, a little bit awkward. And James's voice cracks here and there. And they're the kind of band that they don't go and re-record the vocals before they put it out. There's a lot of bands that do that. And they don't. They put it out. And honestly, that's another reason why I love them so much. And what I did enjoy about this was that this was sort of a loose thing that, sure, maybe you had to be there, but now we get to hear it on vinyl. And it's just this, kind of fun thing that they did that grew into many other times that they did the Bridge School benefits when they sounded a lot better. But this was the beginning of it right here. And so I like the fact, as a collector, I love to have this and I loved hearing it. And sure, I'll go back and listen to it at some point. But yeah, out of the ones that have come out, it's my least favorite. And there was no extra goodie inside. Did anybody else get an extra goodie inside yours? Let me know. But for those of you who didn't get one and you would still like to listen to these songs, as usual, here is the download code, because I will not use it. So whoever is able to get that, I've heard that multiple people can get uses out of that code. So I hope you did, and please enjoy. If you're not a huge fan, let somebody else get it. For sure, it's a release for big fans. If you're not into Metallica, this is not the first place I would send you. But it was a lot of fun. And it was fun doing this. talking to you guys about the new Metallica Vinyl Club issue number 3. I guess in total 7, but 3 for this year. 1 more to go. I guess maybe we'll get it by January. Who knows? Either way, I'll be here once again to open it up and talk about it and let you know what I thought. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you all again very soon.